Hi everyone, good to see you, or you to see me. I hope you're all doing well and just settling into a routine, getting used to this working from home, all this craziness that's going on at the moment. I just thought it'd be a good idea to put together some video, some of my classes, as we are not going to be able to see each other for a while. So I hope you'll enjoy this, doing it from home. A little bit weird, but at least hopefully you have some space and you have some of your home comforts, some cushions or blankets. If you need to use them, just keep them close by for anything. And we'll start off today focusing on our core. And so our core, those really essential muscles that support our lower back, take the pressure off the spine, and just support us, help us whenever we're doing anything really. As soon as you switch on those core muscles, it just gives the spine, the body, that extra support. So today we're just going to focus a little bit more on the core. And with the core, we'll also focus on our bandhas, our root locks, which just help us lock the energy into our body. So we'll focus on the root lock, Mula Bandha, and the stomach lock, Uddiyana Bandha. So that root lock is just that movement of just lifting up through the pelvis. So trying to draw up through the pelvic floor. Like if you were needing to hold, if you needed to go to the loo, just holding that pelvic floor through the perineum, if you're a man, through the uterus. So you're really locking in those muscles, those internal muscles, really drawing them up. And then the stomach lock is just pulling that navel back, maybe about 70–80% back towards your spine. So you're slightly lifted up. And then with the core, you'll see you have your transverse abdominals, the big muscles on the sides of your body here, which just come in and hold you. So like a belt, just holding you in. Top of the bottom of the diaphragm just coming down. So it's like a little box. So we've got all those four sides, just drawing it in and holding it there and just locking it, just like you've got a key in your belly button that's just locking your core. So that's what we're going to focus on, really keeping us nice and strong and stable. But before we start working on that, let's just take a few moments just to get into our practice. So coming to lie down on your mat, having your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and just bring yourselves down, tilting your pelvis up slightly, just so your lower back is comfortable. Bringing your hands to rest on your stomach, resting on your belly, closing your eyes, and just taking a few moments just to settle into your practice. So starting to pay some attention to your body, starting to relax, bringing your awareness, yourselves, your whole selves to the mat. So forgetting about anything else for the next hour and just focusing on your body, on your practice, on yourself. Just start noticing how you're feeling today. So take a few moments just to start tuning in. Starting to soften and relax the body. And wriggling out any bits of tension if you need to before settling in. I'll just do a quick check-in as we take a scan through our body. Just noticing your face. Does it feel nice and relaxed? Having that gentle space between your teeth, relaxing your jaw. Letting go of any tension in your forehead, just letting the forehead relax. If you're holding onto a frown, just letting the frown go. Nice happy forehead as we relax the face. Noticing the shoulders, do they feel relaxed? They're not up around your neck. They're nicely relaxed down and back on the mat. You should feel the shoulder blades down on the mat. Noticing your pelvis. Again, does it feel relaxed? Do your glutes feel relaxed? You're not tensing up. You're just letting everything gently relax. Just feel the back of your body along your mat. Again, how do your legs feel? Any tension, just letting them soften and relax. Really starting to notice your body. Your feet relaxed. Just feeling the mat underneath your toes, underneath your heels, sides of your feet, as you relax them down onto the mat. Noticing your arms. Do they feel relaxed? Not holding on to tension, they're nice and soft. Feel the heaviness, feel the hands on your belly. Starting to notice that rise and fall of your belly as you inhale and exhale. I'm going to start slowing down the breath, lengthening the breath. Nice long calming yogic breaths. Just do a couple of breaths. I'll take the breath in through the nose and then just out through the mouth. So get ready to take your next breath, and I want you to take your breath more from your belly, so starting to make that breath just that little bit longer. So as we take our next inhale through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, in through the nose, through the mouth, exhale. One more time. And now we'll just continue in through the nose, and out through the nose, just starting to lengthen, starting to go for that yogic breath. So taking nice long inhales up from your belly towards your chest, and then relaxing your chest as you let go of the breath down towards the belly. So a few more rounds. So noticing that rise and fall. Maybe letting any thoughts go from your mind, just focusing on that breath. Each new breath, just trying to make it that little bit longer than the previous. And each new exhale, just letting the breath go for that little bit longer before you start up again. A few more rounds. And then whilst we're here breathing, I want you to start thinking about your core. So starting to connect your core. And we're going to use our breath to help us. So when you inhale, so we'll just talk it through for a moment. The engagement of the core happens on the exhale. So you're locking your energy and you're not letting it go. So you just take a nice long breath in. Then as you start exhaling, I want you to just tilt the pelvis slightly up as you start drawing up through your pelvic floor and drawing that navel back on the exhale. So you feel those transverse abdominals coming in, and just like a nice big protective belt just supporting you. And then inhaling again, letting go. And again, as you exhale, start lifting up through your pelvis, draw that navel back, lock in that energy. Relaxing as you inhale, Exhaling again, lifting through that pelvis, draw that navel back, feel those transverse abdominals supporting you. Final time, nice big breath in, using all of your diaphragm. And then as you exhale, draw that pelvis up, draw that navel back. And then gently relax, letting go. Coming back to your normal breath. Let's bring those knees up towards our chest as we get some movement into the body, a nice little rock from side to side. And then we're going to come back, start bringing ourselves up. So rolling onto your right side as you start coming up to a comfortable seated position, still keeping your eyes soft or gently closed for the moment. We're going to bring our hands together in front of our heart and start briskly rubbing our hands together, really focusing on rubbing those palms, as that's where the heat will start building up. Get that energy flowing through the body, building up. And then placing those hands over our eyes as we blink back into the light. Taking our hands away, we begin with our greeting of love and peace, namaste. And namaste to everyone else who has joined us in the practice. Welcome. And let's start off just with a little bit of warming up. So nice neck rolls. We're going to take our chin over towards our left shoulder. Our right shoulder. We're going to circle all the way down to the other side and circling it up. And then taking it all the way down again. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Circling round, nice big circles. One last circle round. Staying nice and relaxed with the arms as the chin comes down towards the chest. Let's go in the opposite direction. Chin towards the right. All the way up. And then down the left. 2 more times. Feel a stretch through the neck. Let's take one last circle, keeping those shoulders nice and relaxed. Chin coming back towards the chest. When you're done, stretching through the back of the neck. Take a few moments just to relax out that tension. Feeling that stretch, releasing. Inhaling, chin goes up towards the ceiling. And again, just stretching out the throat, the top of the chest, a nice stretch. Then come back to center. Let's take a few side stretches. Right arm goes down to support us. Left arm reaches up. We exhale, stretching over and then circling, lengthening forward as we take the arm to the other side. Opposite. Over, stretching forward, lengthening through the spine. A few more times, reaching up. Exhaling, reaching forward, really lengthening through that spine. Inhaling. And exhaling. Let's take our last round up. Nice stretch. Keep those sit bones firmly down on the mat. Good. Coming back to center. Let's bring those hands onto our shoulders and just go for a few twists from side to side. So warming up the spine, starting to get that energy again rising up through the spine with some movement. Loosening up. Maybe starting to take the twist a little bit faster. Keep that breath nice and stable, nice and steady. Keep twisting from side to side. If it does feel too much for your spine, just go as fast or as slow as you feel comfortable. And then start slowing it down. Still continuing, but just going slower again. And then coming back to center. Good. Slowing it right down. Relax. A few shoulder rolls. Nice big exaggerated movements. This little massage for the shoulders. And then in the opposite direction. Good. Let's come back to center. And we're going to come up onto our knees, onto our hands, a few rounds of cat-cow, slightly different version of cat-cow today as we bring our hands underneath our shoulders and those knees hip distance apart. And as we inhale, we draw those shoulders back, tilting the tailbone up, drawing that navel down towards the mat. And then as we exhale, we round up the spine and just shift back into child's pose. And then as we're going to inhale, we start coming up, draw the shoulders back, opening up the chest, tailbone going up. And then as we exhale, again, rounding up the spine, tucking the tailbone under as we reach back. Let's do that 3 more rounds. Inhaling, bending those elbows, draw those shoulders back, tailbone up. Exhaling, rounding up, stretching back into child's pose. Inhaling again, rooting through those fingers, opening up that chest. Exhaling, rounding up, feel that stretch through the spine as we reach back. Final time, opening up that chest, tailbone up. Exhaling, rounding up, reaching back. And then we're going to make the movement, just take it a little bit further. So start bending your elbows, and this time we're going to start scooping the chest forward, straightening the legs back. So we come up into a cobra, and then go back into child's pose. So again, using the breath, bending those elbows, rooting down through your hands as you inhale forward, drawing up through the pelvis, that navel as we exhale back. 2 more rounds, inhaling. Exhaling, drawing up through that pelvic floor. Final time, inhaling, rooting down, child's pose. We exhale back. Just take a moment in child's pose, just to remind ourselves this is our go-to pose. If you want to take a break, take some time for yourself. Just come in here into child's pose. Good. Bring those hands in front of you, coming back up onto hands and knees. In equestrian pose brings our right foot through between our hands. And we're just going to move backwards and forwards. So loosening up the knee, loosening up the hamstring. You can have your hands on either side of your foot or use your opposite hand just to support you. Or you could come all the way up. Just try not to lean on that knee. So just pick your version. And just get a bit of movement through. So really straightening out that knee if you can. Again, you may want to flex your foot up if that makes it feel a little bit better. Just warming up those hamstrings. And we're going to hold it back in a half split. Again, if you need to, just take your foot off the mat slightly. And just relax through the back of that leg. The hips square so you're not falling onto the opposite side. And then bring that knee through, opposite leg, left leg comes through, and again just moving backwards and forwards. Loosening up, lengthening through the back of the leg, warming up those hamstrings. And then let's hold it back in that half split. Again, adjust your foot if you need to, and just take a few moments just to relax through. Again, notice if you're falling into the opposite leg, staying up nice and square. Good, shifting the weight forward. We're going to come into a forward bend, so just stepping through, holding it here just for a few breaths. Keep your knees slightly soft. Let yourselves hang. Let the neck relax. Keep rooting down through our feet. Just take a moment just to check out your feet. Are they turned down or turned in? Just keep them nice and straight. And again, just see if you're falling into your insteps, just adjusting the feet. So the weight's all around. You're not collapsing into your instep, into your knee. We're just holding it here. Let's bring those hands to our shins, halfway lift as we look ahead. Draw the shoulders back, lengthening through the spine. Next breath, let's roll those shoulders, soften the knees, bring the arms all the way around to our heart. We're going to get ready for a couple of rounds of sun salutations. So staying at the top of our mats, in Tandasana, nice mountain pose as we open up the chest. We're taking the palms out, the chest is nice and open, and we're rooting down through our feet. We're going to circle our arms and take a nice big stretch into a forward bend as we take our right leg back, knees on the mat, chest up, chin up, getting that stretch through the hip flex and noticing your knees not going past your toes. It's either just above the ankle or just slightly forward. Drawing back through the shoulders, into down dog, stepping back. Nice big stretch here in down dog, tilting that tailbone up. 8-point pose, Ashtanga Pranam, brings the knees to the mat. Elbows go back, hugging your chest and chin. Straightening the legs back as we lift the chest into a baby cobra. Tucking the toes under, back to down dog. Let's take a nice big step through with that right foot, left knee on the mat. Chest up, chin up. Coming into a forward bend. Let's start rolling those shoulders back, rooting down through our feet as the hands come back to the heart. And let's go with the left side, reaching back into a forward bend. Take that left leg back, knees on the mat, chest up, chin up. Now if you do struggle to go into down dog, instead of going into down dog, you can just come into table instead, which would be with the knee down. So just an option. Otherwise, stepping back into down dog. 8-point pose, brings those knees to the mat, chest and chin. Again, if you're struggling with this from table, you can just stay in a child's pose, or you can just come straight down into your belly. So coming down into cobra, baby cobra, full cobra, tuck the toes under, back to down dog. Stepping through with that left foot, right knee on the mat, chest up, chin up, into a forward bend. To roll the shoulders back, hands coming all the way back to our heart. And let's go with another round. Reaching back into a forward bend. Let's take that right leg back, knees on the mat. Let's come into crescent moon, bringing those arms up. If you want to make it a little bit stronger, you can take that right knee off the mat, but really pushing back through that heel, rooting down through the front leg. And then stepping into down dog or table. This time we'll bring the knees to the mat and then scoop the chest through those elbows. Go back, hugging your ribs as we scoop all the way through into baby cobra, full cobra. Relax those shoulders back, tuck those toes under, back to down dog. A nice big step through with that right foot, left knee on the mat, chest up, chin up. Coming into crescent moon, lifting up that leg if you want to make it stronger. Into a forward bend. Start coming all the way up, rolling those shoulders, using that core as we bring the hands to the heart. And let's end with the left side, reaching back into a forward bend. Left leg goes back, knees on the mat, crescent moon. Stepping down dog. Shifting weight forward, knees to the mat, scooping the chest through. Baby cobra, full cobra, even an up dog if you want to make it that little bit stronger. Knees to the mat, tuck the toes under, back to down dog. Shifting left foot through, right knee on the mat, crescent moon. Into a forward bend. Let's start rolling those shoulders back, hands coming all the way back to the heart. Just holding it there for a couple of breaths. Good, staying with your mat. I'm going to come into a few circles. So rooting down through our feet, keeping those hips nice and square, palm tree as we interlace those fingers. Reaching up towards the ceiling. Keeping those shoulders relaxed. And then we're going to circle. So take the right arm down, circling, left arm comes all the way down to the floor. Keep rooting through those feet. Coming up. 2 more rounds. Exhaling as we're coming all the way down. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Good. As we come back to center, interlacing fingers again. Palm tree up. Other side, exhaling. Circling down, rooting through those feet. Next exhale, circling again. Final time. Nice big circle down, keep rooting down through those feet. Interlacing hands, palm tree. And then coming into chair, so let the hands come down, bending those knees. Bringing the hands forward as we draw the shoulders back. Again, looking at your feet, making sure they're nice and straight, looking at your knees so they're not dropping out. We're stabilizing the legs, engaging those inner thighs, keeping our legs nice and strong, rooting down through our feet and lifting those toes up. Get that weight going back. And this is where, and then just put your toes down for a moment, and this is where we can start thinking about the core again. So you'll start feeling probably that engagement through the core already. So we don't want to overarch that lower back, that lumbar. So again, start lifting up through that pelvic floor, drawing up through that root lock, and then drawing back that navel to that stomach lock. Get those transverse abdominals coming in to hug you. A nice big hug through the belly. I'll do a bit of movement here. So as we inhale, straighten the knees, straighten the legs, and just reach back. And then as we exhale, start pulling up through the pelvic floor, draw the navel back, and then lift the toes as we go into chair. 2 more times, lowering the toes, inhaling, reaching back. Exhaling, drawing up through that pelvic floor, draw that navel back, lifting up those toes. Final time, toes come down, straightening the legs. Exhaling, back into chair. And then getting ready for revolve chair. So straightening your right leg, lean on your left leg and take the right arm up towards the ceiling. Keeping that shoulder engaged in the socket so your arm's not falling back. It's staying nice and lifted, nice and long. Just keep rooting down through your feet. Choosing to look up towards your fingers, forward in front of you or down, depending on how your neck is. And just a couple of breaths here. Again, notice if your shoulder is cramping up against your neck. Just open, give yourself some room underneath the armpit. And take the shoulder slightly away from your ear. Give your neck some room. Next breath, we're back into chair. Get that weight going back, lift up the toes, and we'll do that movement again. This time we'll lift up the heel, so lowering the toes if that feels comfortable as we stretch back, lift up the heel. Next, exhale, start drawing the navel back. Pelvis up, toes come up as we go into chair. If you need to take a resting breath in between, then do so. Inhaling, lifting up the heels as we straighten the legs, reaching back, lengthening that spine. Exhaling, drawing up through the pelvis, draw that navel back into chair as we lift up the toes. Final time, reaching back, lifting up those heels, strengthening those ankles. Exhaling, drawing up through the pelvic floor, draw that navel back, lifting up the toes. And then as the toes come down, revolve to the other side, leaning on your right leg as your left arm goes up. Again, engage that shoulder, root down through your feet, looking up towards your fingers, forward or down. And continue with the breath. Just a couple of breaths here. So this is a challenge for me. I keep wanting to get up and come around the room and see that everyone's in the pose. So having to really quieten myself and just hold myself here in the pose. That's, I think, going to be my challenge with these practices online. Next breath, let's hang back in chair. And just relax here. Lift the toes, get the weight back. Bring the toes down. Maybe go a little bit further down. And then come back to standing. and give yourselves a little shake. You're going to come into a balance. So if you do have a chair nearby, maybe use your chair to help you. A really good opportunity to really get into your balance when you're at home, if you feel that you feel more comfortable, having props to help you. And we're going to come into eagle. So again, it's all about the core keeping us stable to help us stay nice and tall, rooting down through our right foot. Let's bend that right knee. Take the left leg just to cross over. So we're going to get those inner thighs as close together as we can. Hips stay square, so if you find yourself moving off, just bring them back. We're going to try and keep the knees one above the other. So maybe that this is where you are today. This is what all your hips will let you do, and that's perfectly fine. We're all built differently, shaped differently, so just go with what works for your body. You may be able to take your foot off the mat. You may be able to take your foot all the way around. Again, if you're going off, just center yourselves. And just take a few moments to root down through that standing foot. Engage that core. The pelvis is slightly tilted forward just to protect the back, and the core is engaged. And then we'll bring in our arms, opposite arm on top, as we take right arm over and the left one crosses under. If you can get your elbows to cross each other, you can go into one twist or two. If your elbows don't quite cross, just hold on to your shoulders and lift the elbows up a little bit more. And if you have your arms twisted in two twists, just be mindful that your wrists are not bending in awkward directions and you're not putting undue pressure on your wrists. Keep them nice and straight. The fingers nice and relaxed and long. And keep engaging through that core. Lift the elbows up slightly. If you want to challenge yourselves a little bit more, either stay where you are or come and have the support of your foot if you need to. And then start bringing yourselves down, bring the elbow in. And this is where you really need to engage that core, tilting the pelvic floor slightly forward. As we squeeze ourselves into a little ball, bringing those knees and elbows together. And then start coming up again, rooting down through those feet. And then relax, let go of the arms, let go of the legs, give the leg a little shake. And we'll get ready to switch sides, remembering sides are different, so what works on one side may not work on the other, or vice versa. Sorry, all that talking. Let's root down through the left side this time again. Bend that knee, get that core engaged. Crossing the left leg, the right leg over, squeeze the legs. And then decide. You just take your time. You can find you come here and then decide, no, you'd rather be there because you get a better benefit of the pose. You're not wobbling around so much. Again, hips stay square, knees stay one on top of the other. And like I seem to struggle more on this leg, we'll just take our time. So engage that core, tilting that pelvis, root down through that standing foot, opposite arm. This time the left one goes over as the right one comes under. If the elbows cross, one twist or two. If elbows don't cross, or you don't feel like crossing arms, just give yourselves a hug instead. Squeezing those thighs together, lifting those elbows up. Keep rooting down through that standing leg, squeezing those legs together. Nice long breaths. Engaging that core, either staying there or start moving down. You can always release and use that foot to support you. Keep tilting the pelvis forward. Draw the shoulders back, down your back, and bring the elbows towards that knee. Curling up. Gazing at that place in front of you. It's not moving. It's all about the concentration, really getting into the pose as we start coming up again. Good, letting go of the arms. Really good for strengthening the legs. Give the legs a little shake. And we're going to come into a warrior two. So just giving our legs a little stretch. From the top of our mats, a nice step back. Let's do a step back with the left foot. Have the right knee bent, pushing into that back leg. And back warrior two, as I said, let's have the toes pointing to the long edge of the mat, lining up heel to heel or heel to instep. Again, notice if your knee's dropping, you may need to adjust that heel. Keep the hips nice and square as we take those arms out to the sides. And relax the shoulders. Keep lifting up through that pelvis, drawing those inner thighs. So we're nice and strong through our legs. Extended warrior. It's either coming to lean on top of the right leg, or you can take your hand all the way up, down, and take the left hand down. And keep the chest nice and open so we're not falling forward. Keeping armpit above the knee, shoulder above shoulder. Keep that top shoulder in its socket. Space under the armpit, opening up the chest, holding it here, rooting down through that back foot. Keep pushing back into the outside of that back foot. So your legs nice and engaged. And then we're going to take a bit of movement here. So as we inhale, the legs stay exactly as they are, that same bend. And we come up and just reverse warrior. So take the back hand down the back leg and top hand over the head. And we'll do that a few more times. Legs stay exactly where they are. Just root down through the feet as we come up. Either leaning on that top leg and take the top arm over. Yeah, just lean on that top leg, take the top arm over. And a couple more times. Inhaling, coming back. Maybe swinging the arms, one in front, one over. And then as we inhale, coming up. Exhale, stretching over. Two more times, inhaling up, crossing those arms into reverse warrior. Keep pushing into that front leg, nice strong legs. Inhaling and exhaling. Last time, coming up. And the final stretch over. Good, relax, stop coming up. As we switch sides, turn the right toes in. Take the left ones to the opposite side and just take your moment just to line up your heels and root back through that right foot. Hips are nice and square, arms are out. Notice if your knees going towards more or less that second toe. Draw those shoulders back. Extended warrior, either leaning on that top leg or taking the hand down as we take the top hand up. Right arm up, reaching up. Keep that shoulder engaged in its socket. Deciding where you're looking with your head. Getting ready to reverse it as we start coming up. Keep the legs exactly where they are, rooting down through the feet. The right hand down the back leg, the left one over the head. A few more times, coming up. Leaning on that left leg, take the right arm reaching right across the head, past the ear. Two more times, inhaling up, rooting down through the feet, maybe just crossing the arms. Rooting down through that right foot. Exhaling, reaching over. Final time, inhaling, reversing it, rooting down. Exhaling, reaching over, rooting down through those legs. Nice strong legs. Coming back to center. And relax. Straighten the leg, turning the toes forward into a wide-legged pose. You're going to have the feet nice and straight, nice and parallel, or slightly just pigeon-toeing those toes in. So we're rooting down through the outside of our feet. Interlace those fingers behind our back, palms away from each other, opening up the chest. If you feel those ribs are popping out, lower back is overarching, just again, engage that core lift up through that pelvis, bring those transverse abdominals in, relax the shoulders, and then come all the way down, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Keep locking in that energy with those bandhas. And just relax here in a forward bend. Maybe take a little bit of a stretch from side to side if that feels good for your spine.
And then we're back to center and letting those hands hang down in front of us. Placing our hands on the mat. If you do need to bend your legs slightly just to get your hands down. Or if you have a block or your chair close by, you can always use your chair. And we're just going to move from side to side. So bending the right knee, stretching the left leg, inside of the left leg, and then switching sides. So hands stay exactly where they are, and the legs are just moving from side to side. A little stretch through that inner leg. And then we're going to hold it over to the right side. So bend the right knee. And maybe just turn the right toes out a little bit so the knee's heading towards the toes. Keeping the left foot exactly where it is, parallel, we're stretching through that inside of the leg. And then shifting to center again, turn the right toe so that foot's parallel, and we take the left toe slightly out as we move the weight across, get that knee heading towards the toe, the second toe, and stretch through the inside of that right leg. Good, come back to center, shift those toes forward. Turn into warrior one. So turn your right toes to the short edge of the mat and bring your hands to either side. Turning the back toe so it's coming into a 45-degree angle. You might want to have a bit less space between your legs. Have a nice bend through that front knee, rooting down through that front foot. Inhaling, right angle pose here, reaching forward. Next inhale, rooting down through that front foot, still keeping that front knee bent, coming all the way up to warrior one. Relax those shoulders. And then bringing that foot through. We're going to see if we can come into a standing pigeon. So again, just a little balance to keep that right knee bent and bring the left knee across. And then bring the hands to the heart. We're just bending that right knee slightly, like we're going to sit on a chair again. And holding the hands to the heart. Again, if you have a chair, using your chair for support or a wall. Or you can just cross at the ankle if you prefer, using the toes to support you once in a while as you get used to your balance. And then we're moving forward again. So lifting up through that pelvic floor, tilting it slightly forward, draw that navel back, rooting down through that right leg. We're going to bring the hands all the way down. See if we can bring the elbows to either side. And then bring the hands down to the mat. And we bring that left foot down as we come into a forward bend. Relax the legs for a moment. We're just walking them out one at a time. And a forward bend. And then we're going to take the right foot behind us this time, 45-degree angle. Bend that front knee. Inhaling, right angle pose here as we bring the arms in front. Squaring off those hips. Next breath brings us all the way up. Keep that front knee bent. Into warrior one, rooting down through that back leg, tilting the pelvis slightly, nice long spine. Draw that navel back. And then relax as we start bringing the weight forward. Let's come into that balance here as well. So bend the left knee slightly. Take that right ankle across. Bring the hands to the heart. Take your time. You may need to cross at the ankle and you may need to use your toe. Engage that core. As we stop moving through, push the palms together, tilting the pelvis forward, drawing that navel back. Again, if you need the help of your foot, just bring it to cross your ankle. Keep rooting down through that foot, bringing the elbows to the front of that bent leg. Keep bending the knee and bring the hands down again. Bring the right leg down, holding it here. Again, just relaxing in a forward bend. Walking those legs out. Softening the knees. Just holding completely into a forward bend, rooting down through your feet. Maybe just holding elbows with opposite hands. Knees are nice and soft. Try and get the top of the legs and the chest nice and close together. Notice where your weight is in your feet. If you're just sinking back into your heels, bring the weight slightly forward so you're also coming into your toes. As we come back to center, bring the hands onto the mat. Step back, down dog, child's pose if you prefer. Nice resting pose. Lifting, tilting tailbone up towards the ceiling. I'm going to do a slightly stronger practice today, working on that core, really getting it engaged, waking up those muscles. We're going to shift into a high plank. So if you have been in child's pose, just coming back up into down dog or onto your knees into table, shifting the weight forward into a high plank. Rounding up through the shoulders, lengthening back through the legs, so we're pushing those heels back. Engage that core. Just feel yourselves nice and strong through the top of your body, pulling that core, that navel back, that root lock, and that stomach lock. And then a side. I'm going to take it to the right side. So a side plank. You can use that right knee to help you. And just come to the inside of the left foot. Or you can come onto the outside of the right foot and then the left foot and go into the full version. Or you can bring that top leg in front of you. So whichever version of plank works for you, keeping one shoulder stacked above the other. Again, if you want to make it stronger, you can take that top leg up. Completely up to you and your practice. Keep drawing those shoulder blades back. Keep engaging that core. Good. Back into high plank. Shifting the weight to both hands and feet and then into down dog. And then let's do a little flow here. So bringing the weight forward again. Chaturanga or with your knees first. Scoping all the way through into a baby cobra, full cobra, or up dog. And then coming into down dog. We get ready to switch sides. Again, shifting a high plank, pushing those heels back, nice long legs. Engage through the top of your shoulders. Engage through the core, draw that navel back as we lift the pelvic floor up. And we start shifting the weight onto the left side this time. Again, use that left knee if you need to, or just come onto the outside of the left foot and take the right hand up this time. Keep those shoulders engaged, one stacked above the other. Again, more dynamic, you can take that top leg up. Rooting down. Good, back into that high plank. Into down dog. And then into child's pose. Relax those wrists. Going into child's pose, take a break. Might need to have some water. I certainly do from all that talking. And just rest in child's pose for a moment. Connect back to your breath. Bring yourselves back. Feel that nice long breath through the back of your body. Next breath, we're going to come back up to seated. One spinal balance as we come into table. So bring those wrists underneath shoulders. Take those knees hip distance apart. Engaging the core. Start letting the shoulders just slightly draw back down your back. And working with the breath. So as we inhale, we take the right leg, straightening it back. And just take a look that the leg's not going too far up. It's nice and straight. You shouldn't really feel any pinching in that glute. Flexing the foot. On the exhale, as we draw the navel back, let's bring the arm forward. If it's too much to have your arm forward, just keep using the arms on the mat. Keep rooting down, lengthening through both arm and leg, and then we're going to see if we can bring the arm, bending the elbow, the knee, and bringing them together. So nice long breath here. On the exhale, as we draw the navel back, bring the elbow through to meet the knee as we roll up through the spine. Inhaling again, reaching back and forward. Exhaling, bringing that arm through. Keep rooting down through the opposite arm. Inhaling, reaching forward, reaching back. Final exhale. Reaching forward and relax. We get ready to switch sides. Good. Pause always a little bit more challenging. Again, taking the left foot back. And just take a moment just to notice your leg. As we exhale and draw back through that navel, reaching the arm forward. Nice core engaged to help us. Nice big breath in. Moving on the exhale, bend that elbow, bring it through to the knee. Inhaling again, reaching forward, flexing that foot back. Exhaling, drawing through the pelvic floor. Final time, inhaling. Exhaling. Good, reaching forward, relaxing. Just sitting back for a moment. Give those wrists a little shake. Connect back to your breath. We'll give the wrist a little stretch. So coming back up onto our hands and knees. Let's see if we can turn the fingers out and then all the way back. And just hold it there. Take a moment to settle in. If your fingers aren't all the way back, if they're just pointing out to the sides, we're just going to hold it there as we don't want to overstrain the wrist. If your fingers are all the way back, and take a little stretch. A little movement either side to side or back and forward. Give the wrists a little stretch. And then bring the fingers forward again. We're going to flip the hand over. So left hand doesn't matter. Left hand, back of the hand on the mat. Keep using the right hand to support you, stretching through that wrist. And flipping it back and opposite side. The wrist a little stretch. Good, bring the hand back. And let's come and sit down into boat pose. Again, just getting that core going. So on the tips of our sit bones. Feet are on the mat, or toes are on the mat, just to start off with. We're keeping the chest open, drawing the shoulders back. Hands are on the mat to support you. Start lifting. Start shifting the weight slightly back, so you're going towards your sacrum. And start straightening the legs. Again, start engaging through that core. Keeping the chest open, so we're not rounding up. We keep lifting up through the chest. And keep the neck nice and relaxed. Keep that core engaged. Start feeling that shake through the belly as the energy starts rising, and then start locking in those bandhas, those energy locks, root lock, stomach lock. Try not to tense up your glutes as you pull up through the pelvic floor. And then relax across the legs and just relax the belly for a moment. Fine. And we'll do that one more time. So again, shifting the weight back, coming onto your toes. You can go straight into the pose and either holding here or holding the back of your legs. Keep the chest open or taking it to the full pose. Full boat pose, holding it there. Keep drawing back through that navel. Keep lifting up through that pelvic floor. Keep locking in those bandhas. Using the support, keep the chest open. Feel that shake. And then relax again. Good. Relaxing the legs. Relaxing the body. And we'll go with one more round, but this time we're going to see if we can make it more of a balance. And so bringing the feet into butterfly. So feet
are facing each other. We're going to grab our toes again, start shifting the weight back and keep that chest nice and open. So we're drawing the shoulders back. And see if you can start taking your legs out to the sides. So maybe just have your knees bent, which is fine. That helps with your lower back. Keep opening up the chest. And taking the legs out. Keep rooting up through the pelvis. Really good to get that core engaged. Pull back through that navel. Nice long breaths. Good. Then bring the feet back again into butterfly. Soles of the feet together and relax. Just gently butterflying those knees out. Again, keep the chest open. Keep the shoulders drawn back slightly. Just keeping our back nice and long. And then just slowing the movement right down. We're going to just fold over into a forward bend. And just relax here for a moment. Next breath brings us back up to seated. We're going to take just a gentle side twist. We're not going to over twist. We're just going to take our right hand to our left knee. Take the left hand just behind you, nice and close to you, so it's supporting you. You're rooting down. And then just turning to the side of the room. So we're not twisting all the way back. Just a nice, gentle spinal twist here. Keep that top shoulder relaxed so it's not coming up around your neck. And then come back to center. And we'll do the other side. Again, root down through those hands. Noticing this top shoulder. It's coming up here, just drawing it down. And just a gentle twist. And then come back to center. Relax out the legs. Give them a little shake. Give them a little rub. Then we're going to come and lie on our backs. So just couple of final poses for the core as we lie down on our backs. Straightening out the legs, nice straight legs. Hands are down either side of the mat. And we're going to start with the right leg. So we're going to lift the right leg in a moment to 45-degree angle. So again, it's all about the movement with the core, just to help you as you tilt the pelvis up and draw the navel back. And get those transverse abdominals engaged so they're supporting you. If you do have any lower back problems, you can keep the left leg bent. Next inhale, nice big breath in. And then as we exhale, movement with the leg, 45-degree angle, drawing up through that pelvic floor, draw that navel back. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, locking in your energy, holding it there just for a few breaths. The longer you hold the pose, the more the muscles will start engaging, the deeper the deeper it'll go. Then lowering the leg, relax for a moment. Get ready for the left leg, nice big breath in. Moving on the exhale, lifting left leg to 45 degrees. Remember, if you need support, use that right leg. Holding it there, drawing up through that pelvic floor, tilting it up slightly as we draw that navel back, locking in. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Holding it there, keep that energy locked in, that support helping us. Really strengthening up. Leg comes back down. Now we're going to make it just a little bit more challenging. We're going to bring both legs up. So if you need support for your lower back, place the hands just underneath your sacrum with the palms facing down, just to give you a bit of support.
Again, you start tilting the pelvis up. You can have the knees bent to start off with, or you can have the legs straight to be more, if you wanted that little bit stronger. Again, working with the inhale, the exhale. So take a nice big breath in. And then on the exhale, lifting both legs up, 45-degree angle. If you don't need your hands, you can just keep them on either side. Keep tilting that pelvis. Keep drawing back through your shoulders. And just keep those legs here. Feel that energy rising. Keep rooting down through your hands. Keep breathing. Keep drawing back through that navel. And then gently stop bringing the legs down and relax. One final time. Let's take both legs up again. So positioning your hands underneath if you need to, or keeping the hands either side. Have the knees bent if you want to, making it softer, stronger. Legs are straight. Nice big breath in. On the exhale, lift the legs, 45-degree angle. Maybe lift the chest up as well. If you're lifting the chest up, we keep the shoulder blades drawn back so you can feel them slightly grazing the back of the mat, down on the mat. You know the chest is open, and just keep the neck relaxed. Keep drawing back through that navel. Keep rooting down through your hands. Nice long breaths. And then relax, bring those legs in and just give your belly a little massage, give your back a little massage. Good, let's come back to center. Keeping those knees close to us, let's take our arms out to the sides. Circling with our knees, taking them to the right, circling them all the way around, back to the chest. 2 more circles, nice big circles. Last circle round. And then as we bring our knees round to our chest, let's drop them over to the right into a supine spinal twist as we look to the left. So adjust the shoulders slightly and just looking to the left. And relax there for a few breaths. Starting to slow down the practice as we get ready to end. A few long breaths here. Nice, calming, relaxing breaths. Next breath. Let's bring the knees back to center again, shifting the weight slightly, bringing the knees back up towards your chest. And we're going to circle the knees, this time taking them to the left, all the way around and back 2 more times. Nice big circles. Last circle round. Bringing the knees up towards your chest, dropping them to the left this time, adjusting your shoulders and looking to the right. Now the closer your knees are to your waist, the more intense the stretch. If you loosen the space, if you make a bit more space, take the knees further away, the less intense. So choosing your options and then relaxing. A few breaths here. Keep the shoulders nice and firm, flat on the mat. And then our next breath. Let's turn back to center, bring those knees back up. Bring them up towards your chest. Take your arms around your legs. Take a nice big breath in. And on the exhale, squeeze those legs into your abdomen. Release that lower back. And let's get ready to end our practice in Shavasana, corpse pose. So bringing our legs down onto the floor. Now you're at home, so you can really make yourselves comfortable. Make the most of Shavasana, these precious 5 minutes of just relaxing. So if you want to put a pillow under your head, or if you want to put a blanket over you, just get yourselves really comfortable. And just these 5 minutes of Shavasana can make all the difference. Relaxing the feet, letting them flop out to the sides. Take the hands out to the sides, palms are turning up. And let's just take a few moments, closing our eyes. And start to connect back to your body. Start to notice your body completely again. Letting it soften and relax, letting go of any last bits of tension. Any last lingering thoughts? And start gently relaxing in. Start connecting back to your breath. Letting yourselves relax. And just putting on music. Just letting yourself soften. Relax. Let all the tension go. Letting all thoughts go. Legs feel soft and relaxed. Pelvis is relaxed. Let the spine relax on the mat, gently dropping you down. Shoulders are relaxed. Arms feel soft and relaxed. Your fingers relaxing. Your face relaxing. Jaws relaxed. Gentle space between your teeth. Forehead is relaxed. Eyes feel heavy in their sockets as they relax. Completely relaxed. Mind is relaxed. Letting the thoughts go. As the thoughts gently come in, letting them go again. Just focusing on that stillness between the thoughts as your mind relaxes.
Then we're gently starting to bring our awareness back into the room and back to our outer bodies. We start noticing the sounds around us again, connecting back to our breath, taking longer conscious breaths again, connecting back to our bodies, wriggling our fingers and wriggling our toes, rotating our wrists and ankles one way and then the other. And we're going to take a nice big breath in and a nice full body stretch as we stretch our arms to the back of the room, stretching our legs away from us, a nice energizing stretch. And then bring your knees up towards your chest, lying on your backs. Give yourselves a lovely big hug, a last little wriggle on your back, a nice little massage before gently turning onto your right side or preferred side. And then whenever you're ready, just coming back to a comfortable seated position with eyes soft or gently closed as we bring our hands together in front of our heart, placing our thumbs in our sternum. See if you can notice your heartbeat. We connect back to our hearts with love. As we end our practice with love, uniting our mind, our body and breath to our heart. By always thinking kind thoughts, saying kind words, doing kind deeds, and being kind to ourselves. And let's briskly rub our palms together, getting as much energy and heat back into the body, waking it up, and then placing those palms over our eyes as we blink back into the light, taking our hands away. And we end with namaste, and namaste to all of those around us. And thank you for sharing your practice with me. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you. And now I have to turn this off.